What's up, YouTube? So in this video, I'm going to be going over the Miami Dolphins cornerback room before we get into training camp for 2022. So yeah, let's go ahead and kind of get into it. There are some things I want to explain just in case you haven't watched my other ones. I've done linebacker, edge, D-line, O-line, tight end, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, doing this exact same thing, going over the Dolphins roster slowly before camp starts. But just in case you don't really know how these free agent things work, we have the unrestricted free agent. So if we don't sign Nick Needham this year, he will be an unrestricted free agent, which means he's free to go to anywhere that wants him. Noah Igbenogany, as you see, there is a red little dot here. That's because he was a first-round pick. If we don't decide to keep him after next year, we don't have to. We can just waive him, or we can press this button and keep him around for another year for fairly cheap. That's a thing we can do. Then there's restricted free agent, where basically, let's say that we don't sign Trill Williams after 2023, and the Saints decide to give him a one-year deal worth $1 million. That's been my example for all these, just to make it even number. We have a certain amount of time to match that deal from the Saints, the team that he wants to go to, and if we do, he has to come to us. And then, as you see, Quincy Williams and D'Angelo Ross, they don't have anything here. That's because they signed future reserve contracts, and what that means is that essentially we signed them in the offseason, and in the offseason you have a certain amount of players that you're allowed to carry, but we signed them to future reserve contracts so they can stay with us until training camp. And once training camp is over, we have to either sign them to a long-term deal or they won't be on the team. Well, not necessarily long-term, but this will be their contract. But yeah, we have to make some moves to make room for them, basically. So yeah. So with all that being said, cornerback is much easier. If you watch my linebacker, edge, and defensive line videos, the Dolphins system makes it very weird to tell them apart, like as far as what are D linemen, what are edge rushers, what are linebackers in our system, because a lot of people play a lot of different positions, so it makes it weird. Cornerback, very simple. And I'm also pretty locked down on quite a few of these guys. Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, obviously they're our number 1 and 2 corner. They're definitely on the team. We just reconstructed Xavier Howard's contract. Byron Jones is here for sure. Both elite corners, hanging on to them. Nick Needham, fantastic nickel corner. We just paid to keep him around for another year. He's definitely making the team. Noah Igbenogany hasn't really played a lot, but we do have a long-term deal with him still. And he's still a better backup than a lot of these guys, so I think he probably makes the team too. Keon Crossan, he's not really going to play a whole lot of cornerback for us. We got him from the Giants. But the thing about him is he is a special teams ace. Like, he is a terror on special teams. So he's making the team for sure. Or at least he should. So that's 5, and I like at least 6 cornerbacks on an active game day. So at this point, all 4 of these guys, Quincy Wilson, D'Angelo Ross, Trill Williams, and Kader Kohu, I still don't know how to pronounce that. They're going to have to fight for that. Trill Williams probably has an advantage there. He's been with us for a couple years now. Hasn't really had too many opportunities to really play, but he's been here. He's been in the NFL for a little while. Quincy Wilson and D'Angelo Ross, we only have 1-year deals on, so I think they're going to really have to improve or prove themselves. Kader, I'm really not that familiar with, I'm going to be honest with you. Because he went to Texas A&M Commerce, something like that. And honestly, I had a really hard time finding substantial film from him. So I'm going to have to wait until training camp and, more importantly, preseason. To really see what he's got. So until then, I don't really have an opinion on him. For me, it's really an open season to make that last spot for me. I think Trill Williams probably has an advantage, like I said. But I think Quincy Wilson, D'Angelo Ross, or Cater, I think they can definitely steal it from under him. And I'm definitely looking to keep some of these guys, probably at least 2 of them on the practice squad. Corner is very important for special teams, and you need a lot of good DBs. You would need at least 3 starting defensive backs going into each game with some viable backups in case of injury. So you need defensive backs. You need corners. So with that being said, like I said, I would try to keep Xavier, well, for sure Xavier, Byron, Nick, Noah, and Keon. I think those guys are automatically on the team. And like I said, I want for an ideal 53-man roster, I would want another one of these guys. Like I said, I think Trill Williams will probably end up being that guy, and then one of these 3 will be on the practice squad. Probably Cater, because we have more years with him. So, anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Cornerback was pretty simple because I have a pretty good idea of what about these guys. Our linebacker room and stuff like that, it gets a little bit more dicey. Same with our O-line. There's a lot more questions. There's not a whole lot of questions as far as I'm concerned with our corners. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, I appreciate you hitting that like button. Have any questions or comments in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.